Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Email Video, where I answer your questions you send me via email and answer them on this YouTube video. Today we have a funny one. Sam emailed me, just got it today actually. She's having not necessarily a dilemma with affordability or anything, but with something that a lot of people are struggling with right now. And that is what she's calling, or her partner's calling, neglected boomer houses. Hello, Javier, a longtime viewer. Got an interesting scenario for you. I'm in the process of saving for my first house. My lease is up around February of next year, and I am pinching pennies, saving about $3,000 a month. Awesome. It's a very good. I love that you know exactly how much you're saving. And guys, if you're thinking about saving for anything, you should be able to know exactly how much you're contributing per month. I already have a good nest egg, and around December, I should have about $30,000, which should cover my down payment plus closing costs. We make a combined $122,000 annually, but our monthly net income is about $7,800. The problem I'm having is none of the houses in our price range match what we like at all. They are all outdated and overpriced. My husband calls them neglected boomer houses. We got connected with an agent through your agent referral network last month and have started a relationship with them. We asked her to call one house we really like to see if they would be interested in taking an offer about $30,000 cheaper, and they were told by the agent that they would be offended by that offer. Everyone keeps telling us that this is a perfect market for buyers, but it seems to me that when we are ready to look, all we're going to find are stubborn owners that are not willing to work with us. I'm afraid that we're going to have to increase our price to even be able to get the house that we want. Should we wait another year? What do you recommend we do? Well, first and foremost, Sam, thank you so much for the email. And by the way, if you guys want your email answered on a question, make sure to email me here at contact@Javier Vidana and let me know if you're okay with me using your name or if you want me to use a cool alternate name like Sam did. So first and foremost, I love that you have your nest egg separated. I love that you gave me your gross and your net income. You just have a lot of things going for you, and I can tell you're like really educated on this. So just good job. Just overall, starting off, good job on everything. Being proud is a weird and cringy thing to say right now, but if I feel pride right now. So good job. Now here's the thing, okay? You are talking with an agent a little bit sooner. I get it that you're trying to set up a relationship, which is there's nothing wrong with that. But having them reach out to certain situations might have been a little bit of a mistake, okay? It seems to me, according to your email, like you're okay almost making offers right now, even though you would be buying essentially way sooner than your lease is up. So first and foremost, I want to give you some advice about timeline before we get into all the other things you're talking about. The good thing about your situation is you have a very clear end goal, right, that you have to meet. I think you said it was Feb of next year. So yeah, that's right. I can't say February correctly. February. I'm sorry. There's that ESL popping up. So Feb 2026 is when your lease ends, okay? So you have a good anchor point. This gives you very clear expectations of when you should start looking. If you're aiming to aim things really like perfectly tight, essentially you want to be able to be closing a month before your lease ends, because this sets you up for the best situation. Because if you close in January, then your first payment will not be due until March. Right? So this gives you a really good situation where you're going to have the extra month gap. So if you're closing in January, that means you should be under contract by December. And if you need to be under contract by December, then you need to already be looking for houses for the past month or two. So that would be either November or even December. So you are looking a little bit sooner. I'm shooting this video around July. So you are about way up here. If you would have gotten that offer accepted, then you're closing sometime in September, and now your first payment is due November 1st, which means you have December, January, and February as a potential double payment scenario. So you need to be very careful here, and you need to make sure that you're looking when it's appropriate. Unless you're in a situation where your landlord is going to let you out at no penalty, or maybe for a small cancellation fee, they're going to let you out of their lease. So I want you to be aware not everybody's in that same scenario. In case that doesn't make sense, I have this nice little tool that I have with my spreadsheets. You literally just put what month you want to be closed by. In this case, you want to be closed a month before you close. Then you select your urgency here, and it'll tell you an idea of when you need to start looking. And according to this, you want to start looking around November, and it gives you got like a good 1 or 2 months to at least find the right house. So that being said, you're looking too soon. You want to take it just a chill pill and wait. You don't want to just rush yourself into a situation. Buying at the end of the year is not really the worst thing ever. You get less options, but you also get potential to better deals. But now let's get into the actual problem here, and that is you're not completely in love with what you're seeing out there. What did you call them? The neglected boomer houses is what you're seeing. That's funny. So basically what you're describing to me is these houses are maybe 10, 20, 30 years old. They're being priced a little bit too high, and they've probably been on the market for a little bit too long. Yeah. So there is right now, unfortunately, a phenomena of people where there is a lot of listings on the market, and the sellers that are on the market have them priced too aggressively, or they're priced just right, but they're not getting any offers, and they're just staying on the market for months and months and months, and they're not selling. And if they do get an offer that's reasonable, they just get offended and they don't want to sell. So the problem is they're on the market, but they don't really have a strong sense of urgency to sell. They don't have to sell, right? They could, hey, if it doesn't work out, we're just going to stay, is the vibe that they have. So yeah, there are a lot of those right now. And unfortunately, as time progresses, I think the only thing that we're going to find out is if they are truly just like, man, whatever, we'll just wait. They're either going to come off the market, or they're going to end up finding out, yeah, we're actually a lot more serious than we thought we were. We need to get this house sold. We're now going to reduce our price. So we just don't know what's going to happen with them. But the reality is, if we have an owner who actually puts their house on the market and does some decent research. So for example, before listing it, they do some research and they look at the sales of their neighborhood, and they saw two other houses that were very similar to theirs sell for $450,000 a month ago, 2 months ago, around there. So they reasonably think, well, if they sold for $450,000, mine has this, mine has that, we'll be, fair. Let's price ours for $440,000, maybe $445,000. That would be a very reasonable thing to do. Being priced at market is still too high in this market. In its simplest terms, sellers right now are a fire type Pokemon, and buyers are a water type Pokemon. Can a fire type Pokemon be a water type Pokemon? Yeah, probably, if it's like over leveled or it's a really weird situation. But most of the time, water Pokemon is going to beat that fire Pokemon. So there's a distinct disadvantage that you have as a seller, which means you have to give that advantage to the buyer. That's why these builders are giving buyers $15,000 to $25,000 worth of incentives with rate buy downs and all this stuff to just have their houses flowing and selling. Being priced at list price and hoping for the best case scenario isn't going to get your house sold. You need to be undervalued, so that way you give them the advantage, or you say, hey, we're priced here, but we're willing to give you $15,000 to $20,000 of closing costs to buy your rate down. And to your point, I don't think a lot of sellers have gone that yet. We're in a transitioner period where they could change, right? They can still vary, but a lot of these sellers are still being stubborn. So you need to have some faith that people will eventually start figuring out, holy crap, things are not selling. Talking about here in the Phoenix, Arizona area where I am, like most of my home buyers, this is the experience we're getting, okay? We go start looking, and 8 out of 10 of the sellers are very stubborn and don't want to really work with us on the price. 2 out of the sellers are very well aware that things are really rough, and they're willing to give us what we need to make the deal work. That's an improvement for a month or two ago when there was only 1 out of 10 sellers that were really getting it. But here's the thing that's a common denominator. Out of those 10 houses that we saw, 9 out of 10 of the agents are aware that their sellers have the disadvantage. So the only ones that are holding out right now are the actual owners. As time progresses, that's going to shift. And in your example, I don't think you need to really adjust what you can afford. I don't think you need to start spending more money. I think you need to probably start looking a little bit sooner. I know I just freaking reamed on you for the freaking looking too soon, but maybe look like October, November-ish. You're going to risk paying an additional month of double payment. Be aware the majority of sellers at that time are probably still going to be very stubborn. But I think for you, because you're especially a little bit selective, start looking a little bit sooner in the year, October, November-ish, and you will find the right deal for you. And just so we make this crystal clear, because I want to have no ifs, ands, or buts, okay? If you are making $7,700 net, okay, your gross is probably a lot higher. We said 122 a year, right? So that would be 10,000. You need to be, if you're doing 35%, about $2,700 a month. If you're really pushing it, you can maybe stretch it to 3,000. Okay. But I don't want to see you 3,500. I don't want to see you up here just because your dream house is here. I want you to stay reasonable. If you have to push it maybe here, but do your best to be in this range, okay? And as a parting thought for you and anyone else watching, this idea that you have to be in love with your house, I think you need to probably get rid of that. But when we attach love to material things, especially like where you live, it's a little weird in my opinion. I think when you add emotion into negotiations of any type, not just buying a house, it's a very dangerous thing. Let's say in this example, I'm helping someone who's buying a house, and I know the seller loves their house and they really love it and they're really attached to this house. I'm gonna have my buyer write a letter and just talk about how much they love what they've done with the place and this, that, or the other. And we're probably gonna get that offer. Or on the other hand, if I am on the seller side and I know the buyer loves the house, I'm gonna use that to my advantage, and I'm gonna just be more aggressive with what we give back at them because they love the house and they're probably gonna make it work. So when love is involved, you let go of your principles a little bit. So you want to make sure to not tie that love portion of it. You need to have very clear check marks of what needs you have and do the house meet those needs. If you want to add extra flair, extra points, then you can do that. But this idea that you're gonna love the house that you buy, I'm not too sure I agree. I just thought Win the House You Love is like one of my bestest friends, and I'm railing on his name of his channel. I think he'll agree with me in this case. I think you can really like a house and it can fit your needs, but in this market right now, where we're looking at a lot of options, they can be really overwhelming, right? Your brain can have a much easier time if you get love out of it and you just start looking at things logically. You add extra plus ones or points to see which house really fits your needs more. And at the end of the day, once you live in that house, you can open your heart up to it. You can, have the memories that you create in the household be something that you create and you cherish forever. I'm not telling you to be a robot android for the rest of your life, but you want to keep that until you move in, not while you're looking for a house, because your agent, your lender, everyone involved will take advantage of you if they know that you love a house. Sam and husband, thank you so much. I hope this video helps you. And for everyone else, if you want access to these tools or the agent referral spreadsheet, or if you want to work with me in the Phoenix, Arizona area, all the links are down in the description below. If this is one of the first few times watching me, I really recommend this video here. It's a classic. It's a few years old, but some of the advice I give there, like common home buying mistakes, are still relevant today. I really recommend you go watch this and really get a good feel of the home buying process so you can really understand some of the things that Sam did to prepare for her home purchase, and you can have a better understanding so you don't get taken advantage of as well. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. I'll see you on the next one.